tvameva, tvameva vidya, dravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam, mama deva deva. Thou art my mother, thou art our father, thou art our friend and companion, thou our knowledge, thou our wealth, thou art all in all, O Lord of Lords. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. So we are back to our reading of the Narada's Way of Divine Love. We are reading the very effect of the Parabhakti, what happens and what is the glory of them. It is fantastic to hear that these great devotees, when they speak with each other, their voice gets choked, their body starts horripilation, and their eyes become full of tears in the love of the supreme love of God. And they become so pure that they make that place a tirtha, holy place. Wherever they go, whatever karma, work they do, that becomes an exemplary karma, because others will follow their footsteps, do such similar work. And they make these scriptures validate whether the shastras, the scriptures, are true or they are mere concocted ideas of some fools, that they clarify that no, they are true, because they are in their life, all those symptoms and descriptions as mentioned in the Upanishads, as mentioned in the Shastras, become fully manifested, like in Ramakrishna's life. The symptoms, that's why Bhairavi Brahmani told that I can prove before the scholars that he is an incarnation, because the same symptoms appeared in the personality of Sri Chaitanya, Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Chaitanya's. So they proved this, the scriptures. And why? Because all the devotees, whoever may be he or she, when gets this ecstatic love for God, they become absorbed in God. They become totally, so their whole personality merges into God. As a result, sa tanmayaha, they become totally intoxicated into that. They become totally lost into the divine. So whether X merges and becomes intoxicated in him, his personality lost, then what will remain? Only the characteristic, divine characteristic will remain. So similarly, only the one thing will remain, that is all, that is permanent, that is God. And because of their beautiful ecstatic experiences, what happens? Modante pitaro nittanti devataha sanatha cha yang bhur-bhavati. Their fathers, their parents, pitaro means father, grandfather, their grand, and then that whole lineage of their family, they stand and dance in joy that in our family such a boy, such a person is born who is intoxicated in that divine consciousness. And nittanti devataha, the gods and angels, they dance in the heaven. Sanatha cha yang bhur-bhavati, the earth becomes as if got somebody to support. Why? Because of the misdeeds of people, the Mother Earth gets pained all the time. See how the nature is getting devastated. The glaciers are all melting down, and this forest conflagration and fire and destroying this and that. It is all of the negative karma, if you believe in the karma theory. So this one person who realizes God, he stands for that. He actually balances all these negative karmas. Therefore, the earth, Mother Earth also feels, I am now protected by holiness. And also 72 verse, what we read the other day, it is Nasti Tesu Jati Vidya Rupa Kula Dhana Kriyadi Veda. Nasti, there is no distinction between one who is born in a high class, say aristocrat family, in a Brahmin class, or in a family which all the people are highly educated. No. Or he is born Jati Vidya. He has earned a high degree of qualification. And another one, nothing. He has gone not even to school like Ramakrishna. So whether he is a big education, has a high educational degree, or he has nothing, Vidya, Rupa, one looks like a Baba. What do you call? It's called the international contest goes on, beauty contest. He's so beautiful. Oh yeah, Miss World, Miss America, Miss India,
Miss Universe.
Miss Universe. Whatever looks very ugly looking, Astavakro, with 8 veins in the body moving like that. It matters little how they look externally. Most beautiful or most ugly matters little, because their mind is absorbed in God. That is the point. So that does not depend upon that you should, to God realization, you should be a very polished face person, or you should be very rich person, born in rich family, or you should be like a prestigious class of people in the society. No. Or it matters there, in India there are many sages who are born in the what you call cobbler family, Muchi. They are born in another, in different category where people, society does not respond, they respect them for their class status. But it matters little for a bhakta. You are a bhakta, I am a bhakta. There is no distinction. Bhakti is the same. That's why when people chant the name of God and get absorbed, all class distinction goes away. Swami Sri Ramakrishna one talked about India, there was caste system. Here is also caste system. Black, white, this, that, all these different caste system. People talk about India. Yeah, India is not the exception. The whole world is there. But this distinction, how can it go? How is this? What is the solution? Ramakrishna said only, his formula is simple. You love God, then you are all in one class. People get friendship and identify one with another. How? I am an artist, you are an artist. Artist friendship. It matters little. What you do, other things is not. I love say one particular political party, you love the same party. Then we are friends together. Something which makes me in the world similar, that makes this identity. But no, this is, God is the center, and there they unite. Therefore, all this other distinction goes away. Similarly, the caste distinction can go, Ramakrishna said, by only one means, by becoming a devotee of God. Don't say devotee of Krishna. Then devotee of Rama will be different. Then devotee of Allah will be different. Devotee of Vedas will be different. Jains will be different. No, not from that. Forget all this terminology. love God and get merged into God. Then you are no class. Your personality, those things which distinguishes us from one another, which makes us feel that I am separate from you, different from you, higher, lower idea, all vanishes. That's why last verse 72 we read, Nasti teshu, there is no such among them, the page 155, verse number 72, which we read the last time. Among them means the lovers of God. There no distinction or upon what? Caste. Learning. How learned you are, how less learned you are. Beauty of form, how beautiful you look, how not that beautiful. Matters very nothing there in the spiritual domain. Birth in high or low family, wealth, possessions, and similar such things. So the devotees have no such value. Say, Latu Maharaj, Swami Adbhuta Ananda, he didn't go to school. He could not write his signature, his name he cannot write. But Brahmagyan, we honor him the same. Latu is the miracle of Ramakrishna. How Latu does not look as good as Swami Vivekananda or Brahmananda. But Brahmagyan state, when they go into Samadhi, they are all one. So that is the way all distinction goes away. That's why when he put our disciples, Thakur's disciples, in one platform we put them. We cannot catch it in one platform. That's why we make a collage like that. Who is born earlier, who is born later. We live in duality. For us, we do. But for them, there is no distinction.
Only Swamiji is a little different.
So, but when you samadhi, they are same. Different in everywhere, but manifestation. You are making again the same mistake. We are not talking of manifestation. When you are manifesting in speech, of course, Vivekananda give a speech, 1,000 people will be, ha. And Latu Maharaj will say, 20 people may say, ha, bahut bola. You have said much, and very good, very good, very good. World will be changed by Vivekananda's fiery words. Latu Maharaj was 20, 30, 100 people, 200, 500 people will be there. So these are different things. Manifestation, higher or lower. That also in the level of manifestation. I am not talking of manifestation. Their wisdom, their love for God, from that perspective, when they get merged. Suppose you merge in God totally. What it matters, what your physical body, what your mind, etc. You gone above physical body, mind and intellect and ego, and you have gone into God himself. So you are divine there, that's all. You are gone. That you, that you, that me, that all are gone. So that is the beauty of these great souls. Now today 73. Why? Why such affair? That all will be same. The richest person and the poorest person. Born out of Sri Chaitanya's disciples. Rupa Goswami or what? Sama, the minister in Nawab's court, no? The minister. Finance minister. One was finance minister, one was another minister. So two brothers, they were in the court of the Nawab. But others are most ordinary, low caste, outcast people. Matters little. And when devotion comes, they flood. It is Ramakrishna said, when flood comes, then everything becomes one. Flooded. Whether it is low ditch, low pond, or everything becomes merged into that flood water. So when devotion comes, devotion destroys all distinctions. 73 verse says, why the reason? As I have told already, reason is jataha, as because tadiyaha. They become identified with God and they said, I belong to you, O Lord, I am gone. There is no more me, it is thou. So jataha, because they belong to Him. They don't belong to the world. They don't belong to the father, mother, family, the land where they are born. They don't. Swami Vivekananda said, what is America or India for me? Huh? I belong to the world. They identify with the whole cosmos. Their limitation, their limited identity goes away. So, because they are very own. Because the devotees, what they do? They give up all this distinction. When they think of God, they forget about all other things, only God and God and God. Because they think of God in one-pointedly, holding on to their goal of life, then he finds that everyone is his own, because God is everywhere. When he sees like this here, opens his eyes, he sees everyone. He sees Krishna, 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 Krishna. He sees Rama, Krishna everywhere. Who sees Rama, Krishna here? This distinction vanishes. Now, everything of the world and every object they see, they have an equal eye. Eye of equanimity comes in them. They are the real lovers of humanity because they see only God in them. No distinction of body, no distinction of caste, no distinction of country, where he is born, or no distinction of his lineage, or no distinction of his wealth, prosperity, or poverty. All distinction vanishes there. Because everything belonging to God. No? Ramakrishna said, Bhakta has no caste. There is a list. Bhakta's level is one. One should not make any distinction, class distinction between them. As soon as one attains bhakti, then is their body, mind, and the soul. They all become purified. By the name of repeating the name of God, every person becomes pure. Whether he is untouchable, if an untouchable have devotion, then he is pure. And if you have no devotion, you become a Brahmin or a high priest. Better term is high priest. You become a high priest, top priest. It is, you are not a Brahmin. So, if bhakti is there, a outcast, Chandala, is not Chandala, not outcast. And even if you are a bhakta, you are a devotee, then one can eat the prasad from Chandala. You can eat that food. People say, don't take the food touched by anyone and everyone, but you can take that if there is a devotee. You can take that devotee's food. There is no distinction. So this 73, this book, Swami Prabhupada translates this way, because among them there is no distinction. That was 72, we read the other day. Caste, learning, beauty or form, birth in a high or a low family, wealth, possession, etc. In 73 today, Sri Ramakrishna, in this present age, I am on page 155, emphasized the truth that there is no caste or any other such distinction among the devotees of God. In fact, they belong to a caste of their own. They are a caste. What is the caste of their own? They are Bhakta caste. Eh? We say in our tradition, we call it is a sect. No? Ramakrishna is a sect. But what types of sect? Vivekananda says, sect-less sect. Because few people gather together with an ideology called sect. But our sect includes all sects. That's why sect-less sect. The negativity of the sect is not in this sect. If you want to tell it, say that it is called sect. So, in fact, they belong to a caste of their own. The bodies, minds, and senses of God's devotees are equally purified. Their old body, though it seems old body, Devatanu, their body becomes divine. Gods composed of sattvika quality. They look like that. Ramakrishna also body. He is a body, physical body. It is eyes, ears, nose like that, others. But every part of that body is pure, pure, pure. Charged with deep spirituality. So, the bodies, minds, senses and of a God's devotee are equally purified. What distinction can there be among them? So anyone's body who is a saint, their body becomes purified. Of course, as I said, there is lamp. This lamp is maybe starting from night lamp, 0 watt, we call 0 watt or how much watt, I do not know, to 1,000 watt, 5,000 watt, 10,000 watt. That is also light. Light of a lamp is light. Light of sun is also light. You cannot say it is not light. But when you talk manifestation, that's a different thing. And the content of light, because devotee, any devotee, whoever is a devotee, they merge into God. In that point, they're all one. That is the bhakta, real bhakta. When Buddha was questioned about the caste of the monks by a Brahmin, he answered, quote, what he answered? You inquire about the caste of monks, but not about their qualifications. This is the point. You are asking about the caste, because in India, when Buddha preached, caste system was very dominant. Brahmins are the highest class. They are the guiding force of the whole society. Kshatriya warrior class. Brahmins can have access into the Vedic wisdom and literature. Lower caste people have no access to that. So he said that the caste of monks you are asking, but you are not asking what the quality of a monk, quality of a devotee. What is that? This indeed is a delusion. This is the Buddha's words. This indeed is a delusion born of caste pride. Spiritual attainment depends only upon the mental qualification of an aspirant and has nothing to do with the caste and so forth. We remember that story when Swami Vivekananda went in the Himalayas and wanted to study Vedanta under a Swami of traditional Swami of the Dasanami Sampradaya of Sankaracharya. Then the teacher asked, what's your name? And then he said, Swami Vivekananda. At that time he was not known Vivekananda. Anyhow, whatever he said. Then he said, are you Brahmin? No. Oh, so you are not admitted. You cannot sit here to study this Vedanta. Get out. And he was thrown out. And that story goes differently. Afterwards, seeing his sincerity and extraordinary quality, he forgot. The other day he turned him down, that you are not fit to sit with my students here. they are high-class Brahmin, all, no? Oh, we remember when we used to go to Uttarkasi. So there is among the monks, those who are high-born, are born out of Brahmin caste, that traditional Brahmin caste, they will have to allow them to give the first preference. Maybe they have come after 1 hour. We are standing for 1 hour. But that person will go stand in the first chance because he is a Brahmin. So even in the monks' qualities, characteristics, there are, because they live in the society. But when you talk about the devotee of God, there is no such distinction. Whether you are a Brahmin or Kshatriya or Vaishya or Shudra, the working class, warrior class, business class, or Brahminic class, it matters little. You are a devotee, that's enough. In our tradition, actually, Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna's idea brought this transformation in the society. In our society, we never know who is Brahmin, who is Kshatriya, who is nothing like that. From the very beginning, you come here and join, and you love God, bas, you are a monk. Everyone will say, Swami. But no one says, hey, are you a Brahmin? Or are you a working class family you come? Or you come from an educated family? No. You love God, I love God, finish. That's a unification. So that is the reviving the old spiritual tradition of India. The qualification. Quality is the question. Class should be decided that you are a devotee class when you love God. And do you cry for God? Then you are a greater devotee than me. It does not depend on I take vegetarian food or I take fish or meat. It maybe some value is there, but ultimately more is emphasized. Are you a lover of God? Do you cry? Do you weep for God? Do you meditate more and pray more and your character is transforming? You are greater devotee. That is the honor. So this idea should be brought back. These are all there, but in the society still distinction and differentiation prevails. So these will break all this. Now this is the explanation of the extraordinary characteristics of those devotees or lovers of God. Suradas was there, one devotee. The devotees of the Lord are not Sudra, or they have no faith in the Lord, whichever be their caste. A wise man should not slight even an outcast if he is devoted to the Lord. He who looks down upon him will fall into hell. In our scriptures, Mahabharata, it is written. That he who looks down upon that person who is intoxicated in God, that person will actually incur sin by that attitude. Thus, it does not behove us to make a distinction between one devotee and another. And these devotees also do not feel distinction. Now, as I have said, another book, this book of Swami Chid Bhavananda, he says, and the explanation of verse number 73, today's reading, this gives the reason why there is no such distinction, because bhaktas or devotees are equal in the sight of God. In the eye of God, they are same, because their devotion is the same in spite of apparent physical and or social differences. They all belong to one group. To every devotee, all the creatures in the universe are the children of God or God himself, and as such he sees them with an eye of equality. So Bhakta's eyes are so beautiful They look upon everyone as the child of God or God himself. Jaha jaha netro pare, taha taha Krishna's pure. A bhakta devotee, wherever he casts his glance, he only sees Lord Narayana, Krishna, 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 God, 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 God everywhere. Now, this is the 74th verse, is very important for the devotees. And it may be confusing because the whole Jnana Yoga says that you have to be always analyze argument, make argument, cross argument. But here it is said that Bada Navalambya. You should not indulge in Bada. Bada means in this, what you call the arguments. Then is it contradictory to the scriptures? No. False argument. Avoid that. And bhakta also, in one sense, they know God is there. So why now to understand whether God is there or not? God is not there. There are atheists. You go and fight with them. They will say, no, God is not there. You will say, yes, God is there. And then you start argument. But bhakta will not spend his time in false argumentation. What he will do? He will start practicing. He believes there is God. He believes that God can be seen. He believes this Guru has got that experience. So he believes that so many people have got, I'll also, and I'll pray to him, he will respond to my call. So this is the arguments are normally to be avoided. Why? That will be because next verse says, Bahullo avakasat aniyatatatcha. Two reasons why we should not engage in the argumentation. Why? The bahullo. Because there are endless criticism, endless opinions, endless views, one above another, another over another will go on continuously accumulating, and on niyatattva, and it leads no conclusive state. Why? God cannot be understood by intellect. So, first you have to analyze a little, wherever doubt comes, but not to fight with people who have different opinions. At the very beginning, when they start fighting for the opinions, they get into, we have seen in India enough, there are scholars day and night debating with each other, only to establish who can counteract whom, who wins and gets a good prestige. He is a greater Pandit, scholar. A scholar, scholasticism has its place. It is intellectual achievement. But for God realization, one will have to practice. And the bhakta does not spend his time in false argumentation. Why? Because he believes God is there. He has this conviction by any way. You may say that is not firm conviction. Yes, true. That may be foolish conceptions to some people may think. But that is a conviction. Swami Vivekananda said that one day he was passing through, and one Pandit was reading Bhagavad Gita. And at a distance, a low caste person was sitting and like this. And Pandit was describing this. And then Swamiji saw that his tears are in his eyes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, I thought that's Swami Vivekananda. God knows. Anyhow, so Then he asked, why are you weeping? It is Swamiji's life also. Find a story there. There is a story. Jai Ho. So, he went back and asked, why are you weeping? Do you understand this Gita, the scholar is teaching? Do you understand? Do you know Sanskrit? Because he is speaking in all the verses in Sanskrit and explaining in scholarly language. Then that ordinary person, the lower outcast ordinary person, uneducated person, he with folded palm says, I do not know what he is talking, but I see that when he is speaking, Krishna and Arjuna, I saw Krishna is giving the advice standing here and Arjuna is listening. So I can visualize that, I can see that. So you cannot say, hey, nonsense, you are seeing God here. Huh? But you may say so. But his innocent, simple faith, he had his conviction or he has his purity of the heart and seeing the presence of God there. So this is called great thing for that person. If you ask him to bring him into argument, do you believe? Let us come and argue with me. He will be in a mess. So spirituality will go away. He will lose his devotion. So therefore, for devotees, it is not good that one should be engaged in false arguments, and that should be avoided, because there is no end to this type of arguments, because when another intellectual people will come, he will give more argument, and that argument will nullify the arguments given before. And ultimately there will be no satisfactory conclusion. So the 75 verse explanation on page 156, the chapter 10, 9th chapter in this book, these are called ethical virtues and worship of God. They have given the subheading of the chapter from 74th verse. So what he explains here, Swami Prabhupada explains, by arguments you get nowhere. The true spiritual aspirants who seek to know God, who long to love God, do not care for vain arguments. Even Sankara, look at that. He criticizes this vain argument. Argument for argument's sake. And there is no end of that argument. Argument for argument's sake. People go on, that we used to say, Taila adhara patra, or patra adhara taila. People, two pundits sat together to decide whether adharo, tailo adharo, the oil is held in adharo, in the pot. Patra. Patra holds the oil, or oil holds the patra. Naki. Taila adhara patra, patra adhara taila. Anyhow, and go on debating. It is useless talk. Similarly, whether God is there or not, Sankho, Vaisheshiko, Naya, all these are arguments that comes on, and Naya has Nabbo Naya, Neo, what do you call? Neo-logic. Very fine arguments. Buddhist, it contradict with Buddhism. That's the path of knowledge. But for the bhakta, they will not relish this type of distinction. They will get out of that place and they will go and sing Hare Krishna, that's good for them. So, argument you get nowhere. The true spiritual aspirant who seek to know God, who long to love God, do not care for vain arguments. Arguments cannot conclusively establish the fact that God exists. theologians and philosophers in every country have believed that they could prove the existence of God. But there are also many who have found arguments to prove to their own satisfaction that God does not exist. So in the world, there are people who have so fine intellect, they can give arguments to prove that there is no God. But there may be some who can give strong argument to prove there is God. But why you will have to spend your valuable time to argue with a person who does not believe in God, to sit and discuss and convince him God is there? It is the work of the teachers. Teachers have taken the responsibility, so it is for them. Ramakrishna said, to kill yourself, you need a very small knife. To kill others, you need sword, club and sword. So that's why those pandits, okay, it is their duty. But what for you, ordinary person, want to realize God in this life, you go and start, someone comes and argues, and you start giving your argument, cross-argument, and get into the fight of such discussion. Oh, that story reminds me, why Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they were in Vrindavan, they are doing spiritual practices, and they are such great souls. So one Pandit came one day, and then they won their debate. And as soon as they came, this Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they are the top logician of that time. They said, they accepted defeat, even going into any discussion. And then the Pandit was coming back with pomp and glory that Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami has signed that they are defeated by me. And this Jiva Goswami, the disciple of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana and Rupa are the disciples of Sri Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya's disciples. And Sri Jiva Goswami then found that it is written that Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami has been defeated by argument. Then he challenged them to actually to honor their gurus, to out of respect for Guru. This poor fellow, he have defeated my Guru. He cannot defeat me. What's the question of my Guru? So he went on arguments and to this discussion, and then he defeated the Pandit. Pandit was really ashamed and then left. And he said, you never make this pride that you can do anything. I am the disciple of Sanatana Goswami. You cannot defeat me, and you are saying that my Guru has been defeated. Anyhow, but see, this Rupa Sanatana Goswami, Guru took it so wrongly, or to teach the disciple that scholars don't enter into the scholastic argumentation. Rather, utilize that time in Bhagavad Bhajana. But in our tradition is different. We blend all these ideas. But those who are really generated in love and devotion, if it happens, you will find that when you really, a point comes in your life when you think that you are totally in love of God, then if someone comes and talks about your Vedanta and witness consciousness, waking state, dream state, rather get out. I am enjoying my japa and I am enjoying my bhajan. No, a mood will come. So he is talking about that type of people whose mood has gone, they don't involve themselves into it. But sometimes you fall into the trap. Someone puts question and you go out on an argument. So it takes away your energy, negativity. Better you because you believe in God, because you can chant the name of God, because out of that God consciousness you can find joy inside. Why you will go in this dry intellectualism? Ramakrishna's example, you come to a mango orchard this hot summer, beautiful ripe mangoes are hanging. Someone goes and gets very involved into counting the leaves and that branches and which variety this, that.
And how much calorie?
How much? And the other intelligent people, he saw hanging mangoes, boom, just start breaking and sucking and enjoying. Finish. So the life is short. Enjoy the mango, sweetness of God, love of God. And you are spending your 20 years, 30 years in learning all these Vedantic, pre-Vedantic courses. What are the pre-Vedantic courses? Nyaya, logic, Vaisheshika, tarpore, ar ki. Etymology, this, that, itihaso, etc., etc. So, love God. That is the simple formula. So, arguments cannot, and also if you engage in arguments, but argument ultimately cannot establish in fact that God exists. God exists. Theologians and philosophers in every country have believed that they could prove the existence of God. In the university and others, there are seminars. Seminars, they set seminars for what? To listen, to have some arguments, to understand which is correct. And argument and cross-argument, this and that. But there are also men who have found arguments, but there are also many who have found arguments to prove to their own satisfaction that God does not exist. So there will be people who are strong and give argument in favor of God. Someone will be disfavoring God, meaning there is no God. As if my discussing about God is there or not makes God yes or no. If I discuss here, there is no sun, and you say there is sun, okay? Now you are understanding, your intellect is very fine intellect. You can prove there is no sun. Yeah, you can do that. But whether you say yes or not, sun is sun. So whether you believe or disbelieve, there is some cosmic reality. So, if it is so, why not think of God? Very simple formula. So, Bhakta does not want to waste his time in this way. The only proof that God is that one can experience Him. What is the proof of God? You can experience God. Is there anybody who experienced? Yeah, these photographs all around the temple. And more are there. We have not put everything. They have realized God. They are the proof. That's all. These people have seen God. I believe them. They are not cheats. They are not thugs. Their character is not to be doubted about. You believe all the people of evil character or liars and cheats, you believe them and get lost. You lose your money in stock market and here and there. Everything you can do, but you cannot believe on the holy people. You cannot believe on Christ or Rama or Krishna or the Upanishads or the Gita. You don't believe them. So if you believe, then start working. Swami Brahmananda's words, if do this and see if you don't get, then come back and slap. Slap me. So you don't do anything, only argument. Howsoever you may try to convince another person of God's existence through argument, he cannot be completely satisfied. You cannot satisfy anyone completely. There must arise a longing to know the experience of God. The main thing is, I want to know God. That longing should come. And this longing arises, and this longing arises in the heart of men who have seen the vanity of earthly life. Who will be convinced that there is a God and I want God? Why I shall want God? If I have my home, if I have my car, if I have my bank balance, if everyone is around me saying, ha 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 ha, you are so great, so good, and fan club around, why? What is the need of God? But when you find the vanity of all these name, all this fame, name, money, power, position, when it becomes, you are matured with that, then you will cry for God. So, this is there must arise a longing for God to know and experience. And this longing arises in the hearts of men who have seen the vanity of earthly life. You ought to understand this earth, this world cannot give me joy. This world cannot give me peace. It cannot give me eternal happiness. So you ought to be convinced on this point again and again. In the Katha Upanishad it is said, quote, the self is not known through the study of the scriptures, nor through subtlety of intellect, nor through much learning, but by whom who longs for him is he known. By learning you cannot know, but who longs to pray, longs to see him, they get it. Verily unto him does the self reveal. The self is here, it reveals to him. It is here with all of us. Only it is revealed to one who have not the very sharp intellect is not enough. It may be misdirected. Your machine, your weapon may be sharp. The sharp weapon is to protect the good people, but the same sharp weapon can be used to destroy others' life. So, by learning a man cannot know him if he desist not from evil, if he control not his senses, if he quiet not his mind and practice not meditation. It's all Katha Upanishad. That means this God as truth will appear to a person not by learning, not by if he does not desist what is bad, evil, if he does not control his own senses, if he is not of quiet mind, and he does not practice meditation. So that means God is revealed to that people who are self-controlled. Arise, awake, approach the feet of the Master and know that, like the sharp edge of a razor, the sages say, is the path. Narrow it is and difficult to tread. So that is the Upanishad, Katha Upanishad said, that this is, you have to practice very carefully, give up other attachment, control your senses. All these things are necessary. In the same Upanishad, the teacher also teaches the disciple Nachiketa, the awakening which thou hast known does not come through the intellect, but rather in the fullest measure from the lips of the wise. Beloved Nachiketa, blessed art thou, because thou seekest the eternal. So quote ends. This is the Upanishadic statement. Now, Swami says, if you approach a man of God with an open heart and with humility, you need no argument to convince you. As you sit before him, you do not doubt any longer that God is. In his presence you feel not only that God exists, but that it is possible for you to attain him. Those of us who have approached our Master will testify to this truth. He says, yes, this can be proven. We have seen, Swami Prabhupada says, that we have seen Our master means Brahmananda, such a person who can make you feel the presence of God there. So, not go for argument or too much of false and analytical discrimination and fighting. Rather, avoid that, all these confusions. Don't engage in sadhana. Engage in spiritual practice. Okay? So that's up to say. Then we read up to verse number 75 today. 76 we will start. And we can, of course, go a little bit from here next time. But if we go for question answer now, 73, 74, 75. We have read, we can read the Swami, what is his name? Jagat Tyagishanandaji's book, this 2 explanation how he did it next day. But we'll start from 76 next day. If you have any question, then we'll go to it. Then I end this class here. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi, Harihi Om Tat Sat, Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Now the question. The question is, how can we avoid the thought, I am nothing, if we should let go of the ego? Let go of the ego. In spiritual life, what is spiritual life? Spiritual life is to practice that I am nothing, God is all. So, how to get out of ego? Every day to practice. I am not the doer. I cannot do anything. Many times you will see that you plan to do something, you worked hard to get, but you are not successful. So you have to understand there is a cosmic will. So ego, how ego will be, how can we avoid the thought, what thought? That I am nothing. How can I avoid that I am something? Rather nothing, no, I am something. Every day we will have to say, yes, my talent. What is my talent? I create my talent? Or talent is God's gift given to me? I understand. Understanding is my created thing. I have created understanding. Or God has given the brain and the capacity. With that capacity I understand. So we can analyze everything. That I am here. Because of whom? Only my own wish. By my own wish, how can I come? Then I can do whatever I wish. My wish has no value. So devotee will say, it is to believe that God is there, God's will, and God is helping us, God is putting this into situation. So everything is by the will of God. So devotee will say that I am nothing, O Lord. You make me do whatever you want. I am thy instrument. You are the machinist. I am the machine. So that type of attitude, whole day we will have to carry this type of attitude. That I am doing, not I am not doing. God is making me do this but be sincere. I do bad things and say God is making me do. That is not very good devotee's attitude. But it is true. Whatever I am trying to do, is I am trying, but God is the power behind me. God is actually the doer. I am only instrument. So every day we have to think like that, that I am the instrument. Oh Lord, make me thy instrument of thy peace. We chant every day. Oh Lord, make me the instrument of thy peace. So this is an instrument. Where there is hatred, let me show love. How can I show love? where there is hatred. Someone hates me. I'll show love to him. How can I do? I am praying. This is an instrument. Make me an instrument in your peace. So I will do that. So please make me an instrument in thy hand. That is the prayer, very good prayer. I am not the boss. As I wish I will do. No, I cannot do that. But it is you, O Lord. You are the doer. Ami jantro, tumi jantri. Ami ghar, tumi gharani. I am the house. You are the mistress of the house. You can keep this thing here, you can remove that where. The world is your world. Your world, you can do whatever you want with this world. No? It is your world. So, ami jantro, tumi jantri. Ami ghar, tumi gharani. Ami ratha. I am a car, chariot. You are the driver of the chariot. To me, ami ratha, tumi rathi. You are the owner and controller of the rath. So this body, I have no control. That's why, what control we have? Tell me. God has given the machine, and the machines are working. When it does not work, then you go to doctor. And doctor fixes something, that also by the wisdom God has given him. Doctor has no own knowledge. He has to study so many years and learn all these things. So it is God's gift, God's knowledge coming back to repair this. Sometimes he says it is easy to repair, no more repair. It is to be put into the junk. Doctor says, gone. We cannot do anything anymore. Then who is the boss? You are the boss. You get it done. So, ami jantro, I am the instrument. You are the jantri. You are the controller of that jantra or instrument. I am the car. You are the charioteer. Like that. So, this is the way my ego can be subdued. We need not have to tell everyone this internal spiritual attitude, but we can carry in our heart. Anything I do, mentally I can say, oh Lord, I am happy that you have made me do this. You make me an instrument. You make me, well done. If you don't do, we can say, oh Lord, what is this? I always request you to hold my hand and get me things done rightly. But you didn't care. That's why it is a mistake. What can I do? You make me always hold my hand. Ramakrishna said that kitten and the monkey, baby monkey and the cat monkey, baby cat, that is called the kitten. So, baby cat, kitten, he only does ma, mew, 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 mew. Wherever, whatever difficulty, mew, mew. Whenever happy, mew, mew. So let us be like mew, mew. Every time say, oh Lord, oh Mother, please take care. Oh Mother, please take care. Oh Mother, please hold me. So say that, and you are free then. Mother will take care because
cat drags you.
Mother cat will drag you and they hold and then take the baby here. Ramakrishna said. The mother cat, দাঁড়াও না আগে শেষ করি.
Self-respect in that way. Self-independence, self-respect.
That is another idea, and that's another philosophy, another way of mood, and another mood you can do that. But this is the mood. That is the monkey, baby monkey holding. I am such. I have the ability. I can do that. I can hold it. That's also another attitude. Two attitudes. One is the baby monkey, and another is this kitten. So, there, and it gives strength because I am mother's. I belong to mother. There is a pride in that. That's nothing wrong. That does not make you just a worthless guy. Worthless guy because we trust on our ego. Here we have to forget our ego. Either both ways. Either go this way or that way. Anyhow, the two attitudes, we can do that by, if we always practice that it is God's will. It is a devotee's attitude. And you are a person of Vedantic attitude, then you say, I am not the body. What it matters? I am not the mind. What is there? I don't care what the body and mind does. I am Atman, I am Atman, I am Atman. Yeah, ego, I am. But that ego will not be bad, because that will, you are really thinking of the divine absolute. So both are the ways to get us ego banished, vanquished. So that's all. Anything is there? Any other question? No question. No? So we are done then. We are now, for the time being, this class ends here then. And then we'll be meeting you, if you can, in the next evening, 7:30, for our Shanti Gita, the song of peace. We want peace. Song of peace. We'll study that. Thank you all. Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.